Well, I hope your weekend has been fantastic, and we do thank you for joining us on the most comprehensive bulletin in the country. This is KTN Prime.
Many thanks for joining us this Monday evening. And let's start off the bulletin with what's happening with the Rome Statute. And the Kenyan government is now seeking to have that statute amended to give immunity from prosecution to sitting heads of state and government.
The amendment will be presented to the Conference of the Assembly of State Parties to the Rome Statute later on this week. Attorney General Professor Githu Muigai, who will be among a high-powered delegation to the Hague Conference, says there is no likelihood that the amendment will not be passed.
Rita Tinina reports on the government's latest attempt to delink President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy from the cases at the ICC.
Just days after the United Nations Security Council rejected Kenya's request for a deferral of the cases against President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto at the ICC, the government is now looking to its other option, the Conference of the Assembly of State Parties to the Rome Statute. The 12th session of the Assembly of State Parties is scheduled to kick off at the World Forum Convention Center in The Hague on Wednesday this week. The session will run for 8 days. And while the African Union has requested for a special session on day 2 of the conference to debate the indictment of sitting heads of state and government, Kenya will be seeking more than just a debate on the indictment.
We are sponsoring, they call it sponsoring amendments.
The amendments to the Rome Statute seek to provide immunity from prosecution to sitting heads of state and government.
They have been worked on for several months before the conference. So we all do know now, for example, what a raft of amendments is broadly agreed upon.
122 countries are state parties to the Rome Statute of the ICC. 34 of them are African states, 18 are Asian Pacific, 18 are from Eastern Europe, 27 from Latin America and the Caribbean, while 25 are from Western Europe. According to Article 112 of the Rome Statute, each state party shall have one vote. Every effort shall be made to reach decisions by consensus.
It's not a place to vote. It's a place where the consensus is the important way of resolving a dispute.
If consensus cannot be reached, the Rome Statute states that decisions on matters of substance must be approved by a 2/3 majority. The government is confident that the proposed amendments will sail through.
There is no likelihood that the amendments will not go through.
But even if Kenya and the AU carry the day, any amendments to articles touching on genocide, crimes against humanity and war crimes shall be enforced 1 year after the deposit of their instruments of ratification or acceptance. As the AU strategizes for the Hague Conference, the East African Legislative Assembly is seeking to have crimes such as those envisaged under the Rome Statute tried closer home.
So if the East African Court of Justice is going to get extended jurisdiction to be able to deal with such cases.
But for now, the Assembly of State Parties, it appears, is the government's next safest bet in the cases against President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto. Rita Tinina, KTN.